You know what? I gotta get that out of my bag. I gotta get that out of my bag. I have this book. I have this book that goes along with the story out of China. Because I was discussing this with my wife, and she's like, "Oh, I read that." And I said, "I'm. What are you talking about? I'm talking about China. I'm talking about what's actually happening in China right now with social credit scores." And she's like, "No. That's a book." I said, "No, it's a thing." She said, "No, it's a book." Hold on. Let me get the book. Where is it?
He's actually getting the book. He's out of the chair. He's
I
coming back.
I had to get the book. I forgot the book. I actually went to go get the book. So, first let me tell you the story. Tony Katz, 833-GOT-TONY, 833-468-8669. This is China. This is not a country you want to emulate, and we have to ask ourselves if it's a country we want to work with. Now, I am sure that we could go through an entire list of countries about whether or not we want to work with them. Saudi Arabia, probably at the top right now because of the murder of Jamal Khashoggi. Saudi Arabia, which does not engage a free people and does not allow people to live free. Well, neither does China. The problem is that Saudi Arabia is not an economic threat to us, nor a military threat to us. China is. And every day we continue to work with them, we continue to build their opportunities to harm all of us. It doesn't matter if you're a Democrat or a Republican. It doesn't matter if you're conservative or liberal. It doesn't matter if you're black or white. It makes no difference. If you're Asian or if you're Hispanic, makes no difference. You are imperiled by China's existence. What is this social score? We've talked about it before. And by the way, this isn't even the craziest thing China's doing. I mean, which one do you start with? You want to start with the fact that 1 million Chinese people have been moved into the homes of Muslims to report on Islamic and unpatriotic beliefs? I never know if it's pronounced Uyghur or Uyghur, U-I-G-H-U-R. These are Muslims that live in the middle and to the west in China. They're Chinese, but they're Muslims. And it's sometimes referred to as Han Chinese, H-A-N. China has been placing them in re-education camps, which can be seen, of course, as labor camps and prison camps, and now is putting people to live with them to report on them. Don't ever tell me about Islamophobia in the United States again. I'm going to point you to China, that I'm going to tell you to shut your face. That's what's going to go on. Right? But the social credit score has been a long time coming. We've been talking about this for over a year. China is going to judge each of its 1.3 billion people based on social behavior. Beijing is going to go with a points program that will start in 2020, 2021. What is the points program? The points program is that your face is going to be matched up with a score. If you smile, you get points. If you frown, you lose points. If you do something nice, you get points. If you do something they decide isn't nice, you lose points. And the people who have issues and have low scores, according to the government's plan, as reported by Bloomberg, quote, will be unable to move even a single step, which is to say all of their actions and all of their movements will be monitored. They won't be allowed to leave cities. They won't be allowed to leave provinces. They won't be allowed to leave areas. This has been going on for a while. This is China wanting to control and dictate behavior. It is an obscenity. It is Orwell come to life. China is not a good nation. China has nothing they could teach the rest of us. We have to take the manufacturing base away from China. If you bought a TCL TV, go take it back. It's made in China. Where are you going to get TVs? Well, you can get TVs from Korea. Get TVs from Japan. Don't get TVs from China. What, you need that super cheap T-shirt? Stop it. No, you don't. Tell Walmart to stop selling Chinese T-shirts. Or put up a sign, these T-shirts are made in China. If you buy this T-shirt, you're screwing your grandchildren. I think that's a fine sign. So I'm discussing this with my wife, and she says to me, Tony, take this book. The book is called Champion, a legend novel by Marie Lu. Now, that is not Marie Lu's actual name. when you take a look there at the imprint, which was 2013, which was written by Jiwei Liu. I think she just calls herself Marie, you know? And she points me to a section, which is about one of the characters, June. And June arrives in a place called Ross City. And when she gets to Ross City, she's given a pair of, her and some other people are given a pair of glasses to read. She's from the Republic of America. It's a dystopian type of book, Champion, a legend novel. And she puts on the glasses, and the glasses have her name. All of a sudden, you could see it like on the screen, like those Google glasses, and where she's from, and level 1. I don't know what level 1 is, and it has the date, daily score 0, cumulative score 0. And as she looks around, she realizes that everybody has a number over their head. And there are things that have numbers on them. So, for example, there's a plant, and above it says water +1. And you realize that if you water the plant, you get a point. So there's somebody who goes to speak to her and bows towards her, and she bows back for whatever reason, and boom, the score changes. Her daily score is now a 1. Her cumulative score is a 1 because the cumulative is cumulative. So, this is day 1, how it happens. And she goes about, saying, my goodness gracious. She's looking at kids in a classroom, and the questions that the kids have to answer all have numbers over them. And one kid cheats, and it says cheating, -5 points. And gets right back to his paper. And one of the people she's talking to says, your level means everything in Ross City. The higher your level, the more money you make, the better jobs you can apply for, and the more respected you are. Our highest scorers are widely admired and quite famous. As you can see, our citizens are so engrossed in this game of life that most of them know better than to do things that will decrease their scores. We have very little crime in Ross City as a result. This was 2013. This is a dystopian nightmare. And here it is in real life. They're not turning it into a game. Let's see how well you can do. They're utilizing scores to shame people into the behaviors they think are okay. I eat red meat, I smoke cigars, and I love sex. And I ain't giving up a damn one of them. Not for you, not for my social score, not for nothing. I like all three, and not necessarily in that order. Because sometimes I'm full from steak. But I'm not giving any of them up because somebody else has got a social score for me. Could you imagine if Nancy Pelosi got to make your social score? Could you imagine if Chuck Schumer, Eric Swalwell, Kamala Harris, Dianne Feinstein, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, Bernie Sanders, do they get to determine how your score is registered? Let me ask it this way. Do you want Ted Cruz to determine your score? Mike Lee? Tom Cotton? Mitch McConnell? Are these the people you want determining your score? Do you want Donald Trump to determine your score? Do you want Barack Obama to determine your score? The beyond ugly of all of this and of China cannot be said enough. The question is, what do we do about it? And part of what we do about it is say to ourselves, okay, we're done with this. China is proactive in stealing technology. They're not even shy about it. China is proactive about creating regional issues in the South China Sea and in the Yellow Sea, building islands and laying claim to islands so they can have more hegemony in the area. Certainly, they're not allowing Taiwan to go about their own desires for independence, something the United States should take even more seriously than they do. It's the theft of technology. It is the further imprisoning of their own people. It is the advanced muscle that they want to show on a world stage. Now, you have to also remember that China is in a very unique situation, and it is tenuous for them because the Chinese situation requires a massive amount of growth for survival and success, President Xi is desperate for that survival and success because he sees himself as president for life. He has written himself into the Constitution. He needs that power. He cannot be seen as weak by his own people. And the economic weakness that can come from this trade war creates for him a problem. People think this is just about the United States having an issue. No, 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 no. China's got the greater issue. Now, for the United States, what you need is the president going out there and telling people, hey, listen, here's what we're doing. Here's why we're doing it. And yes, there's going to be some sacrifices. Yes, you're going to have to sacrifice. We all are. But at the end of this, here's the better life we're all going to have. The president should have done that. You can't just say that, trade wars are quick and easy to win. That's not how you do it. It's not how you rally Americans around a cause. But we only seem to focus on where the American politics is on this. The Chinese politics on this are absolutely outrageous. Because when those people start protesting economic conditions, then he's got even a greater issue. In the meantime, they're working ways to engage further control of the people. Your score. For the country to see, for your parents to be embarrassed about or proud about, for the girl to date you or not, for the job to get or not, for the honor to have or not. How do we deal with this? We stop buying Chinese goods to the extent that we can. We start demanding that more things be built in our states. We start saying, why can't we bring this manufacturing back? We ask the question out loud. You don't need the 79-cent T-shirt from Walmart. You can spend $1.15. The answer is, what choice do you have? Groups like Apple. Apple, they want to keep telling me how they're designed in California, but they're built in China. No one cares that you're designed in California. You have to stop building in China because this is what you're supporting. You sit there, Tim Cook, and you rail against Facebook and Google for what they do and the privacy issues they engage with their users. Look at what they're doing in China. Stop building in China. Go somewhere else. Yes, it's going to cost you some money. You're a $1 trillion company. Life sucks for you. Go lead the way. We have to lead first in our everyday behaviors ourselves. We have to change our behaviors. We can't give them our money. We have to starve them of our money. That way, they might actually have a free people one day, and we'll all be safer. I'm Tony Katz.